Today we're going to talk about the 757, the state of the real estate market, where we think you should be investing in, looking at what areas you think is good, bad, what strategies that we think can work in each area. Today I have real estate peer, expert in the area, and research analysis. And so where are we going to start? What areas do you think that people should be looking at right now to invest in?
I like Norfolk 23504, which is one we're in. 23506, if I'm not mistaken, that's over near Military Circle. Military Circle is going to be turned into an attraction here soon, so that's a great area. 23701 in Portsmouth, right near the casinos. That's going to be a good area. I don't know if people know the casino isn't done being built, so there's still more jobs that are going to be added on also. 23324, which is in South Norfolk, Chesapeake. It goes right into the Berkeley area going into Norfolk, so downtown, the gentrification will push over that way. I think 23324, 23701, and 23504, probably some of your better places to invest if you're looking to get in early and into like a transitioning neighborhood early without being in a war zone.
Yeah, the only other areas I would add is in near downtown Suffolk, near North 4th Street, North 7th Street, and those surrounding areas. There's a lot of new constructions over there as well. Every street, new construction, land being sold. That area is really coming up as well.
Yeah.
That area in Suffolk.
Yeah, Suffolk's definitely coming up. They're actually adding a Publix to Suffolk.
Oh,
so,
really?
Yeah, so Suffolk, and that's like closer to the end of Suffolk where Emporia is. So they're planning that expansion down through. So yeah, definitely Suffolk's a great area. When I tell people to invest, I tell people to follow the economic driver. Don't really know what the economic driver of Suffolk is. Everybody I know in Suffolk leaves to go to work.
I think that's the driver is so many people are buying up in Norfolk, Virginia Beach. Portsmouth has a casino, but a lot of people don't want to live in Portsmouth.
Right.
So a lot of these places is becoming high priced and overpopulated, Norfolk and Portsmouth. So I think that's the driver is people want to push to Suffolk because you can still get land, you find cheap, affordable housing. It's really not that far. And you can afford to live there and have a nice property.
Yeah.
So I think that is not economic driver, but remember the 757, it's like this is one area, it's one city, really.
Exactly.
So even if you live in Suffolk, like I was talking to someone yesterday, they were coaching in Virginia Beach. They were living in Suffolk the whole time. They was coaching Virginia Beach for 15 years.
Yeah.
You know, he lived in Suffolk while he was doing that.
Yeah. Again, I think I like a little bit of your style of you keeping things fairly close together. So if you're going to invest in Suffolk but don't plan to buy a bunch in Suffolk, might not be as great of an idea to have to go out for one property as opposed to like you have a lot of properties right here, right? If you do that in Suffolk, which is fully doable, right? Like you said, there's so much change over in Suffolk that it's fully doable to go in there and buy 5-6 properties over the next few years and stay in one area. I think I'm on the fence with Suffolk, right? Like I don't have an actual problem with it other than that it seems far to me. And like I think my bigger problem is once I get to Suffolk, it's only Suffolk, right? It's not like you get to Norfolk and Virginia Beach is right here, Norfolk's right here. You got to travel to those.
It is hard for me to make it out there sometimes, but it's only 25 minutes. We're looking at 25 minutes like the end of the world when in most parts of the United States, that's an easy drive. Yeah. So it's only a 25-minute drive from the major areas.
I mean, I think when you live in a city, you get spoiled, right? So we're used to being places in 10, 15. You know what I mean? 10. So the extra 10 is like, oh man.
It's like, man, I'm not going to make it this way.
A place that I would add on that I guess 757, but not is Moyoc. The reason being, it gives you that Suffolk. It's kind of that same Suffolk feel, right? But Moyoc's a place where you're still able to find brand new 4-bedroom houses, $250,000. And because of the pricing in our areas, people are going right across that border just to live, right? And and these are new communities. So it's not like I'm buying an old neighborhood that's being gentrified. They're just building new areas. So you're able to get in and start investing now, right? And like as opposed to 10 years from now, there'll just be a bunch of houses in an area.
Who wants to go all the way to there though?
See, I think the difference is where we're located, right? Because I'm only 15 minutes 20 minutes from Moyoc. And then which makes Suffolk for me is like 40 minutes. You know what I mean? But as a Moyoc for me is like right there. So I'm guessing it's like my Suffolk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like price wise, and the fact that once you get there, there's nothing else to do.
And then they have to come to Walmart out here though. They have to come to some grocery stores out here, right?
Nah, there's a one like right on the border. There's a whole everything right on that border. Movie theater, cinema cafe, Walmart's, Target. It's all like it's called Edinburgh. It's like a huge
Edinburgh and Chesapeake.
And Moyoc's right there.
Really?
Yeah, Moyoc's right. The border of Chesapeake in that area is really close. Like it's.
So I think Suffolk is up and coming due to the facts that I stated earlier, but Portsmouth is also up and coming too. With the casino and the redevelopment plans. Yeah. They try to turn that downtown area into Waterside Drive pretty much. So I actually own a property downtown on Crawford Street, 23704 zip code. Bought that for $215. And it's valued at about $330 right now. My next door neighbor is actually valued at $550. Nice. They have an in-ground pool. So Old Town Portsmouth is always nice, but you're not going to get that price point that you're looking for. But you're always going to have renters there in that Old Town area. It's a nice little cool, vibrant area with bars. Yeah. You got the ferry right there. But you recommend probably closer to the casino, huh?
I would actually go for both of those areas, right? Like casino is definitely, it's going to be a higher risk investment, right? Because you're just hoping that casino pans out, right? And doesn't, become a crime haven and then your property does something different. But with Old Town, you're going to spend more money to get there.
It's more stable.
It's completely more stable. Yeah. It's an older area. There's a lot of rules and regulations, right? So what can be done it's a historic area. So what can be done there? Not much is going to change with what you purchase, but you also need to think about that on the house you purchase, right? If you purchase a house that is historical, the rehab is likely going to be much more, and it's going to be much more difficult because you can't do whatever you want. You got to stay within their parameters.
So cosmetic rehab is mostly what you look for. When I did mine, I kept the floors, I refinished them, I tiled both the bathrooms, added quartz in the kitchen, new cabinets.
How much did it end up costing you for the rehab?
Probably around $35, $40.
And how much is how many square foot?
20. I want to say about 2,400. 3-story, converted the attic into a bedroom. Pretty good. Now I'm actually looking to Section 8 that property. It's a very nice home. I was thinking about Airbnb, but I'm trying to keep all my Airbnbs in one area. I'm trying to condense what I'm doing. But yeah, Old Town's a great place for Airbnb. What's some other good locations for Airbnb in the 757?
For an Airbnb,
I guess near the casino, Portsmouth is a good starting. We don't have any factual data on that now.
Exactly. There's nothing that I can reference like research wise, but legality wise, if you're going to Airbnb, the beach is kind of off limits at this point, right? They're only doing Sandbridge and the ocean,
which is good for Norfolk. So a lot of my Airbnbs, I'm getting travelers who want to go to Virginia Beach. There's no Airbnbs in Virginia Beach, so it's good for us here in Norfolk because they're just migrating here.
Exactly. You have to realize that people don't know the difference between the two. So I live in Chesapeake. If you're not familiar with the area, I'm probably about 25 minutes from Norfolk, from where he's at, and the signs near my house all say Norfolk Hotel, right? So people out of town would get a hotel thinking they're going to be in Norfolk. You're really 20 minutes away. So people don't really know when they're going to book, unless it says minutes to the beach, right? So that's kind of, like you say, it's kind of the plus because people are coming here. So, but to answer your question, Ocean View should be something really good. When you think of our beaches here, you want to think of Virginia Beach as Myrtle Beach, right? Like that's the beach you're going to spend the most money to be. Everything's going to cost 20 or 30% more than right off of the beach. Ocean View is still affordable enough. We spoke about that, about a place to live, but still demands enough tourists. And the good thing about Ocean View is that it's right at the bridge to take you across the water to Newport News, Hampton. So even people that stay on that side of Newport News, Hampton can utilize over here. I think that would actually be Buckrow Beach.
Yeah, I think near Buckrow Beach is a good place to be too for Airbnb.
And 5 years ago, Buckrow Beach was wild. Like 5 years ago, Buckrow Beach was dirty. Like there was like, there was like trash going up and down the beach. Now they're putting work in Buckrow.
Yeah. Some other good places for Airbnb. What about the shipyard area in there? That's probably more for like shipyard workers in Newport News. Yeah. That's probably would be good for like a rooming house.
Yeah. Furnished Finder would probably be your best bet over there, right? Because a lot of those people just, I have a shipyard guy that's staying at my house and he just needs a place to sleep because he works at the Norfolk Naval Shipyard but lives in Newport News. So he works doubles. He just needs a place to sleep for a few hours, right?
So let's talk about, so we have the Airbnbs, but then we also have Furnish Finder, which is mostly for travel nurses, but really traveling professionals intended for, but anyone can use Furnish Finder. But you might have traveling therapists, traveling nurses, traveling people who work on the ships, the military. So you want to be near a lot of major locations, hospitals, shipyards, military bases are the primary locations, colleges for your either colleges, Airbnb, and Furnish Finder.
We kind of got it good here because there are a decent amount of colleges. I mean, even if you think right around here, you have ODU, you have TCC, you also have Norfolk State,
Hampton,
Hampton,
William and Mary,
Wesley,
Virginia
Wesleyan, right? Like, there's just a bunch of colleges. Yeah, if I were, so 757 has pretty much everywhere you would want to invest. So you want to invest around a job, so we have the Navy, we have the shipyard. You want to invest around schools, we have a handful, colleges. I think I would pick one and learn the demographics of it, right? Like, the student body demographic, right? When we were just talking, I threw out an idea that I had heard about, you get the parents and put them on the lease. And he had a list of things why that would not work out, right? So, because he's learned that demographic, he could pretty much go any college town, you know what I mean? And kind of work in that same way. I think it's really about picking one and mastering it, right? Like,
having parents, just a caveat, this is not part of the conversation, but having parents co-sign on a lease for a college student can be done. But in this area, because we don't have a lot of high income people coming in, like you said, the parents are most likely struggling themselves. So what do they look like co-signing on the lease? But in other areas, California, probably Florida, DC, your high market areas, that shouldn't be a problem because you're dealing with a higher class tenant.
And that could also be what college you're by, right? Like if you're by William and Mary, maybe that might be a little bit more, right?
We have the Airbnbs, we have the traveling nurses. What's some other good strategies to utilize right now in the 757? I think rooming houses are great because we have a lot of students, like you said. We have a lot of younger people in the area in general where we don't have a lot of careers though. So people with careers and higher paying jobs, they want their own place.
Correct.
We don't have that demographic financially with these major companies here in Norfolk. So they can't necessarily afford their own place. So rooming houses is perfect because you're in that price point where it's not too expensive, but you can still live comfortable with your regular job while you're making a living and trying to save. So that's how I got into the rooming houses. I saw the need from when I was in college. I lived in a rooming house. And after college, I just continued with it, bringing my friends in and bringing in people who just have jobs. It's not many careers here, but it's a lot of jobs here.
People who grow up here generally go to the shipyard, go to the Navy, military. It's like the thing, no offense, also engineers. That's like they did. So that's really it. And all of those people have their own homes. You know what I mean? So Airbnbs, rooming houses are all great. I always call them elevated rent strategies, right? Like, how can I get more rent? One that is actually really good would be like a residential assisted living. The reason those are good is because it's really hands off. You get the house, you sign up with the program, they're taking control from there.
A lot of people are doing the disabled living. One person told me they're getting $10,000 a month for one bedroom, and they can put 4 people in one house. They said they $40,000 in 1 month.
Crazy stories of those. Same with the assisted livings, sober livings. Really anything connected to a program, right? If you can get a program.
I think due to our area, we have a lot of that because we have, the ghettos. We have some nice areas, but we have like so many people mixed in. You have military, students, young professionals, old professionals, teachers. It's like, so you're going to get Section 8. You're going to get all different kinds of people. So we have all different kinds of programs to offer.
And then also being that we're so government laden. So like I said, everybody goes to the military, but after that, they go work private sector, right? So there's just a lot going on here. Centera is really big here. So we do have a lot of medical professionals coming in and out. So all of that just branches off into businesses, right? When they leave that, they leave social work, they go open a halfway home, or you know what I mean? Yeah, those are all great things to kind of get some better rent out of a home. What would you say the downfall from your experience, the downfall to Airbnb?
Specifically for the 757, the only downfall I see is some of these areas are not regulated right now in the 757. Mainly only only Norfolk and Virginia Beach, but you still have 5 other cities. So one downfall could be when those regulations start to hit. You never know. Norfolk regulations are crazy, and the process to have a fully functional Airbnb in Norfolk, you have to go meetings with the city council. You have to do like the neighborhood meeting. You have to pretty much present why you want to have an Airbnb. They make you do a lot of stuff, jump through hoops with your home, whereas to the driveway, to the parking. You have to have a private trash person who comes every 3 days. They don't let you use the city trash. You have to have cameras set up in a certain way. You even have to have a certain amount of trees on the property. So, that was one negative for me. So you can operate the Airbnb without that license, but you're going to get caught sooner or later, which they're just going to tell you need a license or you got to take it down.
And the Airbnb can actually send people out. I didn't realize that until I stayed at an Airbnb in Vegas, and I guess it wasn't regulated. Like I came outside, and the guy was like, "Hey, are you staying here?" I didn't think anything of it. I was like, "Yeah, just got the room, blah blah blah." And he was like, "Oh, okay, this is an unregulated Airbnb." And he put this thing on the door and walked off. And I was like, so I don't know if it was the city or if it was Airbnb themselves, but I know they somebody's out there and somebody's going to these properties to see.
Yeah, that's not Airbnb though. That's like the city.
Okay.
And here, the city is not going to do that here in Norfolk. Virginia Beach, I'm not sure about Virginia Beach.
Yeah.
I don't even know how they tracking. How can you even track?
Right. Well,
if
you put it on Airbnb, AirDNA will pull you right up, right? You go to AirDNA. If you don't know, AirDNA is like the MLS for Airbnbs. So you go to AirDNA. That's how you comp and see what your property could make a night. Pulls up all of them in the area. So then you just know.
Yeah, but if you put a business name, if you're operating as a business name, you don't post pictures of the front and back door. How would they know? I mean, they can only go by the city who's the owner of the house.
Yeah.
But if a business owns the house and has a business address, how can they really?
If your business owns a house, so either they would be operating illegally because they didn't register with the city to run that business. So if they registered with the city to run that business, the city would know. And if they didn't, they'd be operating illegally. I guess that would. I mean, in my mind, I guess that would be the only ways to really regulate.
Because when they saw mine, they mailed it to my house. I was living here though.
Okay.
And it was an Airbnb. They mailed it to me. I'm saying if there's a business up there, who are you going to mail it to?
I mean, just in my normal business, I find business owners pretty much just like my job, right? Like I'll just run you through the SEC online, type it in, it'll come up who owns it. If it's owned, like my business is owned by another business, just kind of go down that rabbit hole.
So where should people buy houses in the 757? Me personally, I love Norfolk, but I'm starting to see the increase in price in Norfolk. I don't love that. I wanted to keep my mortgage payments like no more than $1,500.
Okay.
And with the way that these prices are creeping up due to gentrification and all the stuff that's coming here, it's going to be hard to do that.
Yeah.
Even $1,500 is pushing it. Most of my mortgages is $1,200 or lower. And I like that price point just in case, you never know what's going to happen. So that's where I feel comfortable in the long term. So Norfolk is starting to creep up a little bit. There's some opportunity in Portsmouth. You can get some good price points there. You can get some good price points in Suffolk. Virginia Beach is definitely going to be higher for you. So it depends, I guess, if you're looking for an investment, a place to live in. Even if you're looking for a place to live in, you still want to have a little upside.
Yeah. If you're looking for a place to live in, my favorites for family, Great Bridge. I don't know, people are torn. I like Portsmouth, right on the water. It's not the Portsmouth you would know, right? And Ghent, right? Those are family. That's if you're looking somewhere where you want a family to live. You're going to have access to everything and have a good school. Great Bridge, Port Norfolk, and Ghent. If you're looking for an affordable investment, I really still think Norfolk's one of your best cities to go to. That really just depends if you're buying on market or not, right? Like if you're buying it on market, you're likely not finding great deals right now.
The only problem with that is most people are buying on market. So we were kind of talking to people who are buying.
Yeah, I'd recommend you find a wholesaler. There's one in every market. There's groups online. If you go to any investment Facebook group, we're all through. And really just an investor agent is going to know the wholesaler. Right? Because that's generally what they're doing is they're finding the properties off market. But let's say you do have to stay on market and you wanted to be in the area. Again, the 23504 is always going to be, I'm not going to say always, but right now it is, as it creeps up, but it has the most value being added. So yes, it's getting more expensive, but you can clearly see why right up the street. As opposed to if you keep going further into Norfolk, it's getting more expensive, but you don't get any of those amenities.
You have to remember, real estate is zip code dependent. So just because this zip code is doing well does not help you in your zip code. It's zip code dependent. So if the city aren't doing projects in that zip code, then there's nothing for you there.
Correct. And there's just a lot of funding going on in the 23504, right? Like the water side is all new, right? I don't know, is it minor league baseball team?
Yeah, we have the Tides.
And this is all within maybe half a mile of each other.
Yeah, half a mile. We have the Norfolk Tides. We have the hockey team.
Yeah. So I think that close to downtown area is doing really well. I really would, point a lot of people in that direction if you're looking for it.
They're also building this nice community to walk around and eat near ODU. Did you see that community?
I haven't. Where?
Oh, it's crazy. It's called like the Railroad something.
Oh, yeah. I do. Yep. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. That's going to be nice.
Yeah.
That's going to be nice. So down in that area also.
Yeah, about ODU.
Yep.
That's always been a place to buy though.
Yeah. And for, I don't know, for whatever reason, it didn't really jump in price until as of late. Like ODU has been, like if you were looking for a rooming house, student housing, that's where they were on every block to kind of find them in that area. Now, it's definitely going up in price, but I still think it's a deal. I still really see us as a really affordable place to purchase properties, right? Like
the main thing is just getting in. Just get in. Just know what your backup plan is once you buy. Know if you don't buy a 1-bedroom, don't even really buy a 2-bedroom. Say if you was forced to sell it, 2 bedrooms are hard to sell. You can buy a 2-bedroom if you have that square footage to add a 3rd bedroom, and now it's more pleasing to someone. Now you can have a roommate move in. You can Airbnb the bedroom. You can sell the property. So only buy a 2-bedroom if you have that potential. Now I did buy 1 2-bedroom strictly for Airbnb, which is not recommended. But the location, and I knew what was going on. I'm kind of more seasoned. I felt like it was a good play for me, but that's not recommended. So having more than one exit strategy. So if Airbnb doesn't work, you can Section 8. Section 8 doesn't work, you can put rooms in it. That doesn't work, you can sell it because this area is going up. Things like that. It allows you to take way more risk than only having one exit strategy and then that strategy doesn't work out. So that's why a lot of people get stuck in real estate because they're taking the risk, but they only have one exit strategy. Yeah. It's the risk is divided when you have those multiple strategies.
Of course. Yeah. You want to be diverse on that exit strategy also. I think the biggest reason, like I like what you were saying, make sure when you buy a property, it's already going to work out as a traditional long-term rental. You always have that to fall back on.
Now, in this 2023, buying properties as a traditional, regular, long-term rentals, you're most likely not really going to make much money.
No,
with the prices and the interest rates.
You're not seeing that cash flow.
But it's fine. It's fine because interest rates is going to come down and then you can refinance and maybe you will make money. Or maybe you just put a roommate in there. So just because things aren't the greatest in the state of market right now, don't mean you shouldn't get in. It's good to get in now because a lot of people are scared to get in. You want to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing. So while everyone's scared to get in, it's your time to get in now. 2020, COVID came. People were scared. What happened? The market took off.
Exactly.
Last year, 2022, people were scared. Oh, the market's going to crash. What happened? Still took off. Now, people are saying, well, interest is always an excuse. Get in. There's never an excuse not to do something. That's with anything.
Yeah.
You get in now, you pay your high interest rates, you fall back on what you're learning because you're constantly learning, and then boom, there's going to be another market turn, and now you've prepared yourself instead of making an excuse, and now you're waiting another 2 years, and then you're going to come up with another excuse.
Yeah. There's always going to be a fear factor. Right now, it's interest rates. Previously, it was housing stock. We just didn't have enough houses. And then prior to that, it was the Great Recession.
The main key, you're renting anyways.
Yeah.
I can understand somebody had the choice to pay $1,200 to buy a property or not pay anything.
Correct.
But you're paying your $1,200 anyways. So buying a property is not really changing anything. You're still paying $1,200. So there's no reason to not do it or be scared. Biggest excuse in real estate and why you're not purchasing a property is you don't know how long you're going to be in the area. How many times have you heard that? And then what's going to happen is you're still going to be in the area for 3 to 5 years. And for those 3 to 5 years, you could have purchased that property, but you didn't. When you leave, you can always put it under property management, and now you had a life event happen, so you can reuse your FHA loan, because you can reuse it only if you have life circumstances, whether you're getting married, you had a death, you get a new job across the country, then that opens up the door to reuse the FHA loan in some instances. But even if you can't reuse it, you can do a conventional loan, move to that new city, buy another property, and now you have two properties. Stop using that as an excuse. You're saying that you're going to move somewhere, you're still here for 5 years, and you're still left with no property. And now you're still paying that $1,200 rent for the last 5 years, when you could have been building that equity, loan pay down, mortgage interest, write-offs, and so on and so forth.
Yeah, you gotta take action, because the train's always gonna keep moving, right? You gotta hop on at some point to be able to move with it. And if you're ever scared, just realize that 90% of billionaires and millionaires were made through real estate, and you're gonna have to take a risk at some point. And I like real estate because it's so diverse. You could be a very high risk investor, you could be a very low risk investor. The only difference between either one of those investors and you is that they've actually invested. That's the only difference. They've taken a step.
And just like with anything, the higher risk you take, the higher reward you're going to get. The lower risk you're taking, lower reward you're going to get. So you take a low risk in real estate, and you wonder why, I'm not making much money. Real estate is a long-term slow game anyways. Exactly. So the only way to really make real money, good money in real estate, is by taking more risks.
Yeah.
If you're not taking those risks, then you're really only dependent upon market conditions, which over time you're still going to win no matter what. But it just depends on how fast you want to win. It's not get rich quick or scheme or nothing like that.